Rebuilding a Legacy, Iron Man's Return with a Dark Secret. Chapter 1, The Mysterious Return. The sky above New York City was clear and blue, and the city below was bustling with activity. But amidst the noise and chaos, a sudden silence fell as a figure appeared in the sky. It was Iron Man, and he was descending from the clouds. The people of New York had grown used to Iron Man's appearances, but this one was different. He had been gone for months, and no one had heard from him since. There were rumors of his death, of course, but no one knew for sure what had happened to him. As Iron Man touched down on the pavement, a throng of reporters and photographers rushed towards him, shouting questions and snapping pictures. But Iron Man remained silent and aloof, ignoring their inquiries and striding purposefully towards a nearby alleyway. The press followed him, but he didn't acknowledge them. He disappeared into the shadows, leaving them to speculate on his sudden return. Inside the alleyway, Iron Man activated his suit's cloaking device and disappeared from view. He had a mission to complete, but he couldn't risk anyone following him. He had no memory of where he had been or what he had been doing, but he knew that he had a dark secret that he needed to uncover. He activated a holographic interface in his suit, bringing up a map of the city. He began to scan the streets, looking for any sign of where he might have been. But the city was vast and sprawling, and he had no idea where to begin. As he searched, he became aware of a growing sense of unease. He felt like he was being watched, like someone was monitoring his every move. He looked around, but there was no one in sight. Suddenly, a shadowy figure emerged from the darkness, blocking his path. Iron Man tensed, ready for a fight. "Who are you?" he demanded. The figure didn't answer. Instead, it raised its arm and fired a beam of energy at Iron Man. He dodged out of the way just in time, but the attack had been close. Iron Man retaliated with a blast from his repulsor rays, but the figure disappeared into the shadows once again. Iron Man knew that he was dealing with a powerful adversary, one that he would need to be careful around. He continued his search, moving quickly and quietly through the streets. But the feeling of being watched persisted, and he couldn't shake the sense that he was being followed. As he rounded a corner, he came face to face with the shadowy figure once again. This time, he was ready for it. He unleashed a barrage of attacks, but the figure seemed to be immune to them. With a sudden burst of energy, the figure leapt at Iron Man, knocking him to the ground. Iron Man struggled to get back up, but the figure was too strong. As he lay there, struggling for breath, the figure spoke. "You don't remember me, do you?" Iron Man's heart sank. He knew that he was in trouble. "I don't remember a lot of things," he said. "But I know that I don't like being attacked." The figure chuckled. "I wasn't trying to hurt you. I just wanted to get your attention." "Well, you've got it. Who are you, and what do you want?" The figure stepped forward, revealing himself to be a man in a dark suit. "My name is Elijah Stone. I'm a private investigator, and I've been hired to find you." Iron Man raised an eyebrow. "Who hired you?" "I can't say. But let's just say that they—" Iron Man narrowed his eyes, suspicion growing within him. "Why are they looking for me?" "That's not my concern," Elijah replied cryptically. "My job was simply to find you and deliver a message." Iron Man was growing increasingly frustrated. "What message?" Elijah hesitated, as if weighing his words carefully. "You have something that they want. Something valuable." Iron Man shook his head in confusion. "I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember anything." Elijah's expression remained unchanged. "You may not remember, but it doesn't change the fact that you have something that they want. And they're willing to pay a lot of money to get it." Iron Man's mind was racing. He had no memory of anything valuable, but he couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to the situation than Elijah was letting on. "Why don't you tell me who your employer is?" he asked. Elijah shook his head. "I'm sorry, I can't. But I can tell you that you're in danger. They're not the only ones looking for you." Iron Man's senses were on high alert now. He scanned the alleyway, searching for any sign of danger. But he saw nothing. "What do you mean, danger?" he asked. Elijah's eyes flicked to a dark corner of the alleyway, and Iron Man followed his gaze. There was nothing there, but he couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching them. "You need to be careful," Elijah said. "There are people out there who would do anything to get what you have. And they're not above using violence to get it." Iron Man was silent for a moment, considering his options. He had no memory of anything valuable, but he couldn't ignore the possibility that he had something that others wanted. He needed to find out what it was and why it was so important. "Okay," he said finally. "I'll hear you out. But you need to tell me everything you know." Elijah nodded, as if he had been waiting for that response. "Very well. But we can't talk here. We need to go somewhere more private." Iron Man hesitated. He didn't know if he could trust Elijah, but he had no other leads. He nodded reluctantly. "Fine. But you lead the way." Elijah gestured towards a nearby door, hidden in the shadows. "This way." Iron Man followed Elijah through the door, which led to a dark and narrow staircase. They descended into the depths of the building, the air growing colder and damper with each step. Finally, they reached a small room at the bottom of the stairs. It was furnished sparsely, with only a few chairs and a table in the center. Elijah motioned for Iron Man to take a seat. "Make yourself comfortable. We have a lot to discuss." Iron Man sat down warily, his senses on high alert. He had no idea what was about to happen, but he knew that he needed to be careful. Elijah took a seat opposite him and began to speak. "You're probably wondering why I'm here," he said. "And why I've been hired to find you." Iron Man nodded, silently urging him to continue. "Well, the truth is, there are people out there who believe that you have something that belongs to them. Something valuable. And they're willing to do whatever it takes to get it back." Iron Man's mind was racing. What could he possibly have that was so valuable? "What is it that they want?" he asked. Elijah hesitated. "I can't say for sure. But I believe it has to do with your past. Your work.